By the time the First Order was on a mission to stamp out the New Republic, the clones of the Grand Army of the Republic had been all but forgotten. Their heroism, their honor, their commitment to peace through ending the Clone Wars, all gone. Well, all but one. 50 years after the fall of the Republic and the Jedi Order, the memory of the 501st Legion lived on through one lone clone trooper. Much had changed about the galaxy, but in his head his brothers were still very much a part of who he was, and the war was still fresh. This is the story of CT-6116, the medic of the 501st Legion known as Kix, and how he survived longer than any other clone trooper. And stick around to the end for my analysis of whether Kix could have changed the way Order 66 turned out. If you love Star Wars as much as I do, or you're just a casual fan wanting to talk about the greatest franchise ever created, then you've come to the right place, because Star Wars is all I talk about, and I upload new content whenever I can. So if you have an interest or love for Star Wars, go on and hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications and join this channel for deeper discussions, theories, and Star Wars lore. Each one of you is appreciated more than you know. Now, let's get on with today's topic. A discovery has been made. A crashed Separatist ship carrying Count Dooku's valuable treasure has been located, and the race is on for Sidon Ithano, the Crimson Corsair, to get it first. This treasure could put him and his crew on top and mean the end of his financial struggles. But what he found wasn't a treasure of monetary wealth at all. Instead, it was a lone clone trooper in stasis. As impossible as it seemed, the clone was still alive. Sidon Ithano realized the treasure was this clone and awoke him from his stasis. The clone known as Kix immediately began rambling about a plot to destroy the Jedi and that he had to get back to the Republic and warn General Anakin Skywalker. Kix had no idea how long he had been removed from the war, and to him it was still going on. But Ithano realized this treasure was far more important than he first thought. But so much time had passed that it was only valuable to those fighting 50 years prior. The war had been long over. The Jedi were gone. The Republic before the Empire was gone. Before Kix could be informed of the changed galaxy, he slipped into unconsciousness. The security surrounding Kix must have been high. One lone B-1 battle droid awoke, and his sensors indicated there was an intruder aboard the ship, more specifically in the vault where Kix was being kept. With the battle droid's remaining energy, he reactivated a team of super battle droids to dispatch the thieves. Sidon Ithano understood the threat and ordered the evacuation of his crew, taking with them the unconscious hero of the Clone Wars. While he was unconscious, Sidon Ithano noticed there was only one escape pod and not enough room for his remaining crew and Kix. In an act of selflessness, he shoved everyone into the pod and stayed behind to face the coming threat. For 3 weeks, Ithano's crew was marooned on the planet. Coming to terms with the loss of their captain, they roamed the desert. But miraculously, Ithano emerged. The Crimson Corsair was alive, and with him he brought the memory core of the Separatist ship, which contained all hidden Separatist locations which had long since been abandoned. Kix was in a state of shock. Saddened that he was unable to save the Jedi and the Republic, he agreed to join the Crimson Corsair and his pirates in an effort to find the Separatist bases and gather the treasures they found. Kix had learned of the plot to destroy the Jedi when his friend and comrade Fives had discovered it, after Tup's chip malfunction. Darth Sidious had learned that Kix was aware of what was going on and ordered Dooku to intercept him. The mission was a success, and the Separatist forces captured Kix and put him into cryo-stasis for transport. Without knowledge that Kix was aboard the ship, the Separatists were attacked, causing critical damage to the ship and in turn being the reason for the ship's crash landing. Believed to have been destroyed, the Republic forces moved on, and this is where Kix lay in dormant for 50 years. The story of CT-6116 is only one of the tragedies of the Clone Wars, but it had a huge impact on the outcome. Had Kix survived and been rescued, the Clone Wars could have been ended much differently. Order 66 could have been a failure, and the Jedi would have likely turned on Chancellor Palpatine much sooner. but it's unclear if they would have been victorious. A big part of the Republic turning on the Jedi was the assassination attempt on Palpatine's life by Jedi Master Mace Windu. It gained sympathy in the Senate for the victimized Chancellor, and ultimately the Jedi were not in control of the clones anyway. Even though the Jedi often listened in on Senate hearings, they were not part of the Galactic Senate and had no real say in politics. So telling the Jedi of what Kix learned may not have been useful at all. But Padme Amidala was one senator who would listen to the Jedi. If there was an alarm raised about a possible plot to destroy the Jedi, Padme would hear it and bring it before the Republic. But that, too, may have been a wasted effort, as Palpatine was mostly in control of the Senate and would have spearheaded the investigation himself, covering it up and disposing of the defective clone. Kix was but one clone against an army of millions and a Senate controlled by the very man behind the plot, a Sith Lord. I know we all like to think Kix would have been successful, and had he got the chance to present the evidence, the future of the Jedi and the Republic would have been changed. But would it really have? Kix was not the only one to discover the secret. Before him was Fives, following the chip malfunction in Tup. Fives discovered the truth about the purpose of the clones. He tried to present his findings and was killed for it by clones. Kix tried to continue what Fives had started, but it was intercepted. Had he succeeded in getting the information to Anakin Skywalker, his fate would have been the same as Fives, most likely. The only way Kix would have been successful is if he had evidence that it was Palpatine himself who orchestrated the entire war and the plot to kill the Jedi. But as it was, clones and Jedi alike trusted Palpatine, especially Anakin Skywalker, maybe not so much the Jedi Council. But as it stood, no one knew that Palpatine was Darth Sidious, and chances are they would have told him of the betrayal, thus ending the same way as Fives. Like I said before, the story of Kix is just one of the tragedies of the Clone Wars. Another being that Captain Rex knew of what Fives discovered, as evident by him telling Ahsoka to find Fives when he himself was in the midst of Order 66. Yet, he didn't do anything about it. But I'll get into that in another video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Could Kix have stopped Order 66, or would his fate have been the same as Fives and Tup? If you enjoyed today's video, go on and hit that subscribe button to join this growing channel. I have so many videos in progress, and you won't want to miss them. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, this is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Be good to each other. Thank you all for watching, and remember, this is the way, and positivity in the Star Wars community is the only way.